To discuss, let's bring in former Speaker of the House Bronwyn Bishop and Sky News host Joe Hildebrand. Welcome.
Good evening, great to be here.
Now let's start with the story about the Chinese spy ship. How weak do you think Albanese looked in his comments there tonight, Bronwyn?
Pathetically weak, and indeed, as I watched him pick up a baby and cuddle it, trying to get, I guess, some sympathetic reaction, it just screamed to me that Albanese had no care in the world about that future of safety of that child. To say that he'd prefer that that ship wasn't there was just, to me, asking the question, what sort of deal did China's handsome boy do with the Chinese Communist Party in order to again sell wine and lobsters? What other deals have been done to ensure that whatever messages come out of China on their version of WeChat or whatever it is they have to the Chinese diaspora in Australia, what sort of deals have secretly been done? I watched him cuddle that baby and I thought, what a hypocrite. You have no care at all for the future of that baby's safety.
Yeah, I must admit, I did not see that connection.
No, there was a lot of baby cuddling already. I mean, he was holding
it sounded like he was going
today.
to steal the baby and sell it to the Chinese Communist Party. I mean, what a
No, Joe, that was not the point. If you cared about the future of that child, you would care about the future of this nation. You would start buying drones and use them so you could properly track. When he said the ADF is tracking, because we haven't bought them. That's why. So if he said they're monitoring, how are they monitoring them? There are all sorts of things that are so wrong with the defence policies of this government that I am quite justified in saying that he has no care for the future safety of that child.
So you would like him to buy drones and monitor the ship. What else is he meant to do? Is he meant to jump up and down?
He's meant to have a proper defence policy for the defence of this nation. Not to say it's okay, not to say that it's doing the same thing as was carefully laid out in those earlier interviews, that in fact there's some sort of moral equivalence with us being in the South China Sea.
Everyone knows there's no moral equivalence.
Well, your Prime Minister thinks so, Joe, and you're going to try and stick up for him, and you've got a very difficult case before you.
Okay, let's hear Joe's response here, or defence.
Well, the fact of the matter, I mean, again, I don't know. Obviously, I would rather the ship wasn't there as well. I would rather the Chinese warship wasn't doing live fire.
Is Albo sending you his talking points?
No,
Joe, that's
absolutely
exactly
not.
The line he gave earlier.
I know, I read it because I read the news, and he said he'd rather it not be there. But again, what is the alternative apart from jumping up and down and saying? I mean, do you want China to put the bans on our exports again? Do you want? Are we going to pick a fight with China when we don't even know how secure our treaty is with the United States of America under Donald Trump?
Oh, rubbish!
Who you guys support? I mean, I just what is actually.
You've got an ambassador who's in Washington begging that something be done in Australia's interests. What on earth is the ambassador? What on earth is the ambassador in Beijing doing to say, get out of our waters? Where is that? Oh, the Prime Minister said, I'm not going to tell anybody what they're going to do.
So you think that they're here because the Australian ambassador hasn't said to Beijing, please don't send your ships in our waters?
That's not the point I'm making.
Joe, Albanese's response to the Chinese Albanese's response to the Chinese warship was very weak. In fact, he even
what is he supposed to do?
He even claimed that he had been given notice of the live fire exercises when he wasn't given notice. So that weak response shows that he's not standing up for Australia's interests, and then it invites China becomes more emboldened in the face of that weakness.
Surely it's weaker to say, oh, I had no idea, it was a complete surprise. I mean, of course you want to be able to project strength. Of course the Chinese are doing things clandestinely, which we don't want them to be doing. I mean, it is a spy ship after all.
Why was he called the handsome boy?
You've got to be able to...
Because he's there kowtowing.
We do not write the Chinese...
Kowtowing. There is
so you believe all the Chinese
here.
Propaganda, but you don't believe what comes out of the Australian government.
What I'm saying, Joe, is you've got no right to say that what Albanese is doing is in the Australians' interest.
So you think he's selling them the baby? What do you think he's doing? You think he's having secret talks with Beijing? Because that's
he has no
concern.
He said
he's made a secret deal, because you implied before
I want to know.
he made a secret deal
want to know what
for barley exports to resume.
I didn't mention barley.
Hey, if you start buying our lobsters, was it lobsters you mentioned? But was it
The
beef?
point is,
was it
what-
wine?
what
so if you
deals
start
has
buying
he
our wine
done,
again,
Jen?
you can send our spy ships into Australian waters.
What deals have been
Do
done?
you really think he made
why
that
is
deal?
there no?
You
why
think
is
he's
there no
committing high
equivalence
treason
of the
secretly?
Prime Minister
That is
being
just
strong with the
ridiculous.
Chinese Communist Party?
You think he's having secret talks with the Chinese Communist
their
Party
handsome boy.
about letting military...
The handsome
That is
boy
outrageous.
who
You're accusing him of high
kowtows.
treason.
I'm
You're accusing
saying-
our Prime Minister of
I am
having
saying-
secret talks against
I don't
Australia's
think she's-
interests.
I don't think Bronwyn's saying there's
That's
any
exactly,
treason.
play the
I think
tape.
she's saying...
Let's play the tape. Let's play exactly what
well,
you said.
I think what
You said
she
that,
means
you said, what
is
talks
that
was
there's
he having?
acquiescence.
You
I
said
think you're
exactly. You said the
Acquiescence,
opposite
that's
thing.
quite right.
Bronwyn is talking...
You said, what did he promise them during getting our
Let's
export,
not-
our lobster
I
export?
said
Yell.
it begs the question.
It begs the question. Let's not yell.
So you
I think
seriously
she's
think that's
saying
possible?
there's been acquiescence, that we've seen Albanese repeatedly fail to publicly stand up for Australia's interests. That includes when Navy divers have been injured, when there have been
What
near-miss
Bronwyn
crashes.
said that he-
Let me
she
just finish
questioned
my
whether he had
sentence.
privately
I think
been
what
selling out Australia's
Well,
interests.
I think what she means is that there's been silence and acquiescence, and that this has seen
And that he was selling out
and
the future of
emboldened
the newborn
China.
baby he was holding. I mean, that's
Well,
outrageous.
she
That is-
meant
You might as well be
he's
working
not
for the
worried
Chinese
about
Communist
the
Party.
baby's future. She meant he's not worried about that baby's future that he was holding. And there's been a lot of baby kissing
Maybe that's what he told
already
the
in the first 3
CCP in their
days.
secret talks.
Wow. All right. And on that note, Bronwyn Bishop, sorry we didn't get through more topics. Joe
Thank you very much, Sharri. Always a pleasure.
Thank you so much.